taking you on a journey through the world of music, from old school hits and classics to today's biggest projects. The only station that covers heavy metal to hip hop and R&B and everything in between. The sound of the people is CTR.
What's going on, guys? Episode 14 of the podcast here. I'm going to keep the intro a little bit short just because we've got a long ass episode coming up again. We've got another interview talking about Pride Month. I mean, I say what I say at the start of the interview, but just to go over it quick now. I mean, I figured it was the end of Pride Month, so I might as well talk about it. And we're coming to the end of the women in music, and we also cover that. So, two birds with one stone. Let's do it. Here's the interview, guys. Cheers.
Right, look, there we go. Jesus Christ, that took a while to get everything set up. Just having a look now to see everything's sorted. Yeah, everything is sorted. We are officially recording. And if I did a good job in the intro, I introduced another interview with Liz. Liz, how are we doing since the last time I spoke to you?
Great. I mean, I spoke to you last night, but hey-ho.
Well, yeah, I should have probably made that a little bit more specific. How was the last time I spoke to you on here?
It's good.
Nice one. That was good. I looked back at it. It was like over an hour that we were talking. I thought we was only going for like 48 minutes last time.
Oh no, it's definitely like an hour.
Fucking hell, I couldn't believe it. I was I was pretty shocked at the way like it all like came together, to be honest. Like for the first time, I was like, do you know what? Not a bad performance.
No, it was pretty good actually for your first one as well. And just got to deal with my Manc accent.
That makes two of us then. So nice we have to do it twice. Just because it's the end of Pride Month, we're going to be touching on that in a minute. But I do want to talk to you about. I might as well talk about him because I mentioned him apparently according to people on every single show that I've ever done. I want to talk about 6ix9ine. Have you seen what he's been doing on Instagram lately?
I mean, you sent me the things of the little dogs that he's got. Yeah. And he says dog really weird. Look, my little dogs, and I was like, "Are you okay?" But I've just seen him like boasting that he's got number one, and I've seen Nicki boasting about it as well. I haven't really seen him that much.
So just to put it in like a little bit of context, the bit I'm on about, there was the dogs one where he was like, these are the other like little small dog rappers, and kissing them on the forehead, blah blah blah. Yeah. So there was a video that he did before that. He was like saying, if I didn't make number one, you're all going to clown me. So I might as well clown you while I'm number one. And he was calling out all the rappers. He was like calling out Meek Mill, etc., etc. Then he called out Trippie Redd, and he was wearing Trippie Redd's merch. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see it. That's a bit stupid.
So like they fell out a couple of years ago. Like there was this massive thing like before he went in prison where he got him jumped in New York when he came to New York, right? So ever since then, there was like a massive falling out, and obviously, like I was watching the video thinking, oh, he's got to bring up Trippie Redd. He's got to bring up Trippie Redd. And then as he said his name, he looked down at his t-shirt and like pointed at his t-shirt. He was wearing Trippie Redd's merch. I was like, oh my fucking god.
Why? How does he even why does he even do this all the time? Like, why does he just sit at home and be like, you know what, I'm going to get some little dogs and I'm going to name them after all the little rappers and start talking to them as if they're all the little small time rappers and call them little dogs?
What I love about it is like, I expected, I'm not going to lie, when he came out of prison, like I expected him to be a little bit more humble, like, and just be a little bit more cautious, like, the way that he's moving and all that, but he's not slowed down his game whatsoever, and it still shows that it's popular after like 2 years, because that's what made him massive. And like there was a part of me where I was thinking, maybe that was going to get a bit older, a little bit more like, a bit sour, people are going to sour on it, but apparently not, because obviously he's number one now. But it's coming up to the end of his he's on house arrest, isn't he, like to like the 20-something of August.
Yeah. It's the end of August, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm worried about him. Like, I wanted to get your opinion on that. Like, so at the end of August, obviously he's allowed out of his house. So he's going to start moving. He's going to start doing concerts and all that sort of stuff. You got to think, like talking about like, I mean, he's pretty much proud of being a snitch. He's trolling everyone for being a snitch. Like, I'm a snitch and I came home, to a big bag. I'm still number one. Like, it didn't affect my career whatsoever. Like you said, I'd never recover, etc. You got to think,
You got to think he might be in a bit of danger when he comes out of his house.
Well, absolutely. Look what happened to like Nipsey Hussle and what's the other guy that everyone thought was still alive? X.
X.
Yeah. They all got like gunned down in the street. So next time he's out buying little dogs, he might just be shot. I think he is. It's like, yeah, I think it's possibly that he's probably going to get shot or something, because he's not, like you said, he's not like slowed down or anything, or he's not been like, you know what, I'm just going to take a chill. He's like, no, under house arrest. He's bored out of his head. He's like everyone in lockdown. He's like, how can I piss everyone off and like all together?
That's it. I'm dead surprised that, like, I mean, as well, you talk about Nipsey Hussle and you talk about X and all that as well. Like, they weren't even like snitches or anything, or like, you know, they were like hustlers till the end. Like, they were loyal to the streets. And then you've got this guy who's like in a lot worse of a situation, just talking out of his ass all the time, all over Instagram, all over everywhere, like just absolutely clowning everybody. And somehow Nicki Minaj is like taking his side, because did you catch the live video? What they were? I think it was like just after Trolls came out. They had a live video. Did you catch that? Did you catch what she said?
No, I didn't catch it, but I know she's been saying like stuff on her Instagram. Like she's been a bit like him. He's been posting about like, oh, we've got number one, and everyone's like, oh, Nicki Minaj has got number one again. And then she's like, and they thought I was quitting the rap game and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, but you actually were quitting the rap game. Like, what are you on about?
Yeah, I remember.
So I think she's been a bit daft as well.
Yeah. So what she's done is, and I mean, I'm going to say it's a bit controversial, because I think it is, to be honest with you. I mean, fair play to her, like, and in a way, I actually agree with what she said as well, just because it's a lot of truth, like, for where she comes from. Obviously, she's come from that side of like life, and you know, if she's going to speak on it like that, then you've got to respect her opinions. Like, what she said was, the people in the rap game shouldn't really be speaking on 6ix9ine's situation, because you've probably got snitches in your camp as well. The only person, or people, should I say, that should really have an opinion on the whole situation are people who are, you know, still in the game, like still in the streets, still making their money that way. And like, I thought that was a really good point that she brought up, just because they are really the only people that can have a say on it. Because like, you talk about rappers and all that, they've got something to lose, and I guarantee you, like, most of the people that are talking shit, like especially in the rap industry, I mean, hell, even in the music industry, like, you know, a little bit more wider, because you got some like pop stars and R&B stars having a little say on it. You guarantee if there is in the situation that 6ix9ine was in, you know, someone who got robbed by his own people, got kidnapped by his own people, etc. Are you seriously gonna tell me that you're not gonna turn around and snitch on those people? I mean, it's not loyalty at the end of the day. I mean, they already broke the code of loyalty. Like, why should you stay loyal to it?
Yeah, exactly. But then, like, with him saying stuff about everything all the time, is he not thinking, oh, well, I've just snitched on these people, like, they've done me wrong, but then I've snitched on them. Are they not going to try and come and get me after house arrest is up?
Of course,
Honestly,
you've got to think so, like 100%. I mean, even before he went in prison, even before this whole snitching thing started way back in 2018, I put a status up on Facebook, and it was something along the lines of, first it was Lil Peep, now it's X. You know, in a year's time, like 6ix9ine is gonna be dead. Like that was my opinion at the time, just because the way he was moving at the time, like he was in and out of beefs, like, you know, people in and out of McDonald's after lockdown ended. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
just absolutely no break whatsoever all the way through 2018, and then all this made it worse, just because he like, the whole point he was in beef, like every single time, was that he was, you know, Treyway, you know, 9 Trey Bloods, blah blah blah, like he was a gangster, he'll shoot you, blah blah blah. And then all this whole snitching thing came out. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen when he comes out of like house arrest. Honestly, I genuinely am concerned about his well-being.
yeah, same. Because he's just been putting himself into more like beef and more arguments, and you're like, mate, you just need to like slow down a bit.
100%. But speaking of Nicki Minaj, and actually speaking of 6ix9ine as well, because like this is something else I wanted to talk to you about. I was thinking about 6ix9ine, obviously, releasing, and he said he's bringing out an album. I think it's at the end of this year. Nicki Minaj, as you say, she hasn't really been in music for the past, what is it, like 8 months, maybe a little bit less than that.
Yeah. Well, she said she was quite in the rap game, didn't she?
Yeah, exactly. So, with that being said, there's word that Beyonce is bringing out a cinematic album this year, and it all sort of comes together. And my question to you, like, we've had quite a lot of big people in the music industry, like in the past couple of years, that haven't brought out any work in the past couple of years. I want to say, like, my biggest example is like a Rihanna or a Kendrick Lamar that haven't brought out an album. I mean, Rihanna's not made an album since 2015. You haven't seen Kendrick moving since 2017. Like, just an open question to you. Like, if you was to pick anyone like that for an example, like, can you think of an artist right now that you would love to see some music from that you've not seen in a long time?
Oh, Rihanna, for sure. But she's been like, since her last album came out. Did you say it came out in 2015?
I think it was Auntie, wasn't it? That was the last one she brought out.
Yeah. Since she brought that out, she's been working on obviously her makeup line, Fenty Beauty, and then she's done the Fenty. Is it Fenty times Savage or something? Which is like a lingerie line, and she did a whole show for that, like a whole like fashion show for it, and that took her loads of time to prepare for that and like get everything ready and stuff. And honestly, I actually watched it and it was amazing. So that was like my Rihanna dose of like music, even though she did none. She just stood on stage and danced. She had like Migos there and just the models walking around them whilst they're performing a tune. She had like loads of people there. It was a bit like a concert. It was pretty mad. But I'd love to see some music from Rihanna. Everyone's saying that she's going to bring some out this year, but they were saying that last year. And then she brought out the fashion show last year. So hopefully it is this year, but I don't know now with COVID, because she'll probably want to bring an album out and then go on tour straight away, and then she'll probably go away for like 8 years.
100%. I like she's one of the people that I've really missed, like, in the music game, like, just because, I mean, everyone calls like Beyonce the queen, but like for me it's Rihanna all the way, like 100%. Like,
yes, same.
Yeah, like we were talking about a couple of weeks ago, weren't we? Like, we were comparing, like, we were sort of doing like a 10 for 10, weren't we? Where we were looking at like 10 Beyonce songs and 10 Rihanna songs, and it was just nowhere near, was it? It was just like Rihanna's music is just by far better.
Yeah, I agree. And like, it's more like a lot of Beyonce stuff. She does like a lot of really slow songs, or she does a lot of like, not controversial, but like alternative songs that not a lot of people like, and it won't get radio play. Whereas Rihanna does like a whole album that's just bop after bop, and pretty much all of her album will get radio play, and it'll all be played in the clubs and stuff. The only like controversial album Rihanna's done is Auntie, which was her last one, but I loved it. I thought it was amazing.
I thought it was a lot different. I mean, I won't lie to you. Like, when that album first came out, I wasn't too keen on it. It was only in the past like year or two that I've gone back and listened to it, where I've gone, actually, yeah, that's a bop. That's a bop. This whole album's a banger. I think what put me off it in the first place was the amount of times the goddamn radio stations played Work. Like, oh my god, every time. Go on.
I don't like that song. Just because it got that much radio play and it was just on repeat. Capital were the worst for it, because they used to play it like at least 3 to 5 times a day, and you're like, oh, I already heard this morning.
I know, like every single time you turn the radio on, it was just the one I was like, oh, go away, like I cannot be bothered with it. But
yeah,
like just because of I'm trying to do some research about it. Like, recently I've gone back and listened to it again, and like it is a really good album. You've got some great features on there as well. I mean, we talk about Work,
Now that I've gone back and listened to it again, like now that it doesn't get played 1,000 times a day, it's actually an alright song, to be fair. And like Drake's feature on it is really good.
Yeah, it is. But I feel like I like Drake, but I feel like everyone absolutely bashes him, and I feel like there's better people out there.
100%.
But like that, when she had him on Work, that was like when Hotline Bling was out and stuff, and that also got on my nerves. Like, it just wasn't good. That era of Drake with, what was it, Hotline Bling, and he had something else as well.
Oh, now you're asking. No, you're right. Yeah, that's a good point. Oh, what was it? There was another one. There was Hotline Bling, and then, it was just before it. It was just before it. He brought that out, and he had that whole controversy that he might have stolen that song from somebody. I can't remember what that was about. But yeah, there was another really annoying song before it. But I do agree with what you say about Drake. Drake for me is, when he's on, and like he's one of the best in the world at it. But like there's times where he releases a song, and just because it's Drake, people buy it, like, and people listen to it. I mean, I'm not being funny. That, what's it called, the Tootsie Slide or whatever it's called, that's out now.
Yeah, I don't really like it. I don't think that's good.
It's rubbish. It's lazy. That's what Drake does. Like when he can't be bothered, man. It's like Hotline Bling. That's a lazy song, and people like say it's an absolute tune. I'm like, no, it's not. It's not though, is it? Come on.
It's Hotline Bling, and then it was One Dance after it.
One Dance. That's what it was. I've got little facts about One Dance. Do you know it's the second? It's number 2 in the most weeks at the top of the charts. Like you've got Bryan Adams' Anything I Do, I'll Do It For You, which was like 16 weeks, and then Drake nearly matched him. I remember I was on a coach with a couple of mates, and he was on Radio 1, like, the big top 40 or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was like it's matched like wet at number 3. And if it gets another 2 weeks, it'll be at Bryan Adams' level. I was like, how is this nearly at 16 weeks at number 1? It's like the most standard song I've ever heard in my life. It's yeah.
Yeah, honestly it is. But like, there's so many like better people out there, and especially at the moment, because a lot of songs are getting a lot of plays through TikTok. Like I know a lot. Like I've got a few songs in my playlist that I've seen on TikTok, and like Jason Derulo has made a comeback based on a TikTok song.
Oh no, yeah, where the hell has he been, man? A wild Jason Derulo returns. Where the hell has he been? He's
been a TikTok star. He's got like 29.9 million followers on TikTok.
It's insane that when you think about it, like that's how influential like social media is lately. Like you got big celebrities like Jason Derulo like switching to things like TikTok and obviously he's getting paid for it, I'm assuming, like with sponsors and all that.
Yeah. You
got to think about how much revenue that's bringing in for him. It's clearly enough to make him stop making music for a while, because where the fuck's he been? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But staying on the topic of like when you say like there's loads of better people out there right now. Just off the top of your head, just like a quick fire question: if you was to name one person, who would you say is better than Drake? Let's stick to hip hop or R&B at the minute.
One person better than Drake
right now in the music game, yeah. It's tough, isn't it? Like, I know I've just like sort of jumped that question on you, but
I'd say either like Tory Lanez or Travis Scott.
Yes. Oh, he just brought out a fire song, by the way.
I don't think I've heard it, but I was listening to that one that he's on with that. It's called Rosalia, TKM. Yeah. And his verse on that is sick.
He's been killing it for a good couple of years, Travis Scott, to be fair.
Yeah, I think he's way better than Drake. And I also think Tory Lanez is like doesn't get enough like clout for his music and stuff. Like Drake has all these people that follow him, and he brings a song out, it might be the worst song in the world, and they'll still love it. Like, oh my god, the new Drake song, it's amazing. Tory Lanez brings out a banger, and you hear no one talking about it.
That's a great point. I brought one of his songs up on the podcast a couple of weeks ago, "Who Needs Love," and at the time it was just come out. It was like a day old, and since then it's got no radio play. I don't think I've seen it on many like big playlists or anything. You know, like the top this week, blah blah blah, on Spotify or anything. I've not seen it anywhere, and it's a absolute banger. I don't know if you've heard it. I can't remember if I sent you it or not, but if you haven't, go and listen to that song. It's really good.
Well, unlike Tory Lane's popular songs on Spotify, his first one is The Take, featuring Chris Brown.
Yeah.
But I don't know how that's number one, because the second one is Still Be Friends, which is Jeezy, Tory Lanez, and Tyga. And that's at like 89 mil. Whereas The Take's only at 86 mil. So that shows like his two top songs, it's not just him. Like his most popular song is with Chris Brown, and then the second one is he's on a feature of Jeezy.
Right. Yeah. I get what you're saying. So like you're saying like he doesn't get any recognition for like his work.
Yeah. Like a lot of his songs by himself are so good, but I can't believe like Jeezy's getting too much clout for what he is as well, I think, at the moment.
I think he's fell off recently as well, in my opinion. I mean,
well, I became a fan of Jeezy like when he had his album called When It's Dark out, and like his songs aren't about like the usual rapper stuff, which is like drugs, sex, stuff like that. And none of his songs on that album, there might be one song maybe on his album When It's Dark out, I think it's from 2016. There might be one song about that, but it's like one song about how his dad used to beat his mum, and then his dad left, and then his mum got a girlfriend, and then she died, and it's like a really sad like rap, and it's that album's quite sad, but the lyrics and like the rap in it are amazing. And then he's just released this like new album, and he's got like Cara Delevingne's ex on there, who shall not be named because I'm very mad at. she's on a track with him, but Jeezy's a douche. He cheated on Halsey. Like they broke up a bit after him and I, and he cheated on her, and basically sent her a text saying, "I'm so sorry, Ashley, I cheated on you in these places," and it was like Austin, New York.
Yeah. Didn't we touched a little bit on that last week? Was it last week? Didn't we? Where we were saying she was hosting like a concert or something? She had them all like on the wall behind her.
Yes, that was amazing. But
fair play to Halsey, like turning that around.
I honestly used to absolutely love his music, and like his stuff he did in like 2015 and stuff like that, and 2016, and then his other stuff is like his recent stuff isn't that good.
No, I agree. Yeah, I think he's fell off as well, like 100%. Someone in the last couple of years who has like really come up. I say a couple of years, not even that. I'd say about like the last year that's like really come up for me is like Dababy, man. Like he has been just absolutely just. He's took like this game and just absolutely ran with it. Like there's very few people who's had a quicker come up than Dababy, like, and a faster, success in more than one country than Dababy. Like he's come up and like, yeah, he's got a number one and all that sort of stuff, and he's like number one, number two in different countries on like features and everything. But it's recognized. I mean, with Don't Rush, like there's a remix out now with him on it.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I was in the car the other day, driving to pick my sister up from her friends, and I was listening to Kiss, and Don't Rush came on. I was like bopping away to it, and then I was like, "Wait, who's this?" And then I was like, "It's Dababy, but why would Dababy be on a track with Young T and Bugsy?" Like, I am so confused. And then I was like, "It's definitely Dababy, but like, why? Why is he on?" Because like Young T and Bugsy are like a bit. They're not even on H's level, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like,
well, this is
quite low down, and they've got a feature with Dababy, and I was like, what is going on? I was well shocked. It's really good, but I was like, absolutely. I was like, oh my God, no way.
Well, I'll tell you exactly what's going on, because I was like looking into this a little bit, and then I was listening on the radio. So apparently, Dababy heard this song, obviously the original "Don't Rush," and he reached out to Young T and Bugsy of all people and said, can I jump on the remix? I mean, you're not going to say no, are you? But like, my point about Dababy is like around like the music industry, that was seen as like a big deal. As like, wow, Dababy, jumping on a track with Young T and Bugsy. Like he's been around for a long time, and he's not. But that just shows how successful and how talented he is. That it's seen as a big deal. Someone as big as him jumping on, a UK song.
I know. I was honestly like so shocked by it, and like to be honest, I didn't know who he was until like he got on My Oh My with Camila, and then I was like, oh no, he's pretty good. And then I didn't look into it. I didn't like listen to his songs. I think I listened to maybe 2 or something, and I was like, these are pretty good. And then I hadn't heard from him for ages, and then like I heard him on the radio, and then he's got that song with his own song with Roddy Ricch that's like really popular on TikTok. And then Young T and Bugsy, you just hear him on like he's got a song with Little Nas as well, Little Nas X.
Yeah.
It's really good. Panini remix.
He's got features everywhere. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, he does, and you don't even realise, and then you're like, whoa, it actually is him. Like that's mental.
He's got like a super recognizable voice as well. I think that's really in his favor. Where
yeah, it does.
Yeah, do you know like when you hear him on a song, like you're like, that's definitely Dababy. I mean, if it was to think of like a UK equivalent of Dababy, like with that recognizable voice, I'd say like AJ Tracy. Like as soon as you hear AJ Tracy's voice, you're like, yeah, that's AJT on that song. Like when it's a feature. Okay, just to fill people in what's just happened, Lizzie's tablet just decided to have an overheat disaster. I don't know anymore. Yeah. Probably like we were just talking about too many like fire tracks by Dababy. That's probably why it like overheated.
But I was like, whoa, Dababy, I can't handle it.
Yeah, he was probably searching for all his number ones. He was like, I can't handle it. It's ridiculous. But just to continue what I was saying, I mentioned just before she left, I was saying something about like his iconic voice, like you can recognize him on like so many songs, and then I said if I was to compare him to anyone in the UK, with that voice that like instantly recognizable voice, I'd go with like an AJ Tracy, just because.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, just so like. Because when you hear like a song and then like a feature comes on it, that's AJ Tracy. Like you go, oh, that's AJT that, and I think that's like a credit to him. Like, and I was thinking about this yesterday, and it would be between him and H. Like, but I would probably say AJ Tracy is probably the most likely to come out of the UK, and that this does include Stormzy, etc. The most likely to come out of the UK and smash the US market, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense. Like, he's got a new song out, hasn't he, called Dinner Guest.
Yeah.
I was like, I was just in the car again on my little journey. I wasn't driving though. And it just came on. It's because it's like a remix of an old song. So I was like listening to it and I was like, who's done this track? And then it was like first line, Cartier frames and a turtleneck, and I was like, oh, it's AJ Tracy.
He's sick. He's another one who's like really come up in the past year and a half, and like he's absolutely just smashed it. I mean, you had Labrador Grove that came out last year. That was an instant hit because it was just like sort of a garage a garage vibe. That's what I got from it. And then what was it before? Was it Rockstar the year before that?
Oh, he's on one, right? And I can't remember what it's called, but I swear he came out at Part Life last year. But then again, don't remember a lot from it.
Yeah, my memory is pretty hazy from Part Life as well, to be honest with you. By the way, if anyone doesn't know what that is, that's a festival in the UK. I'm pretty sure AJ Tracy was there. Dave was there as well, wasn't he?
Fashion Week, Steel Bangles.
Oh,
he
Fashion
did
Week,
come out because I remember being absolutely buzzing about it.
like AJ Tracy is. I'm just like trying to think off the top of my head how long he's been sort of in the spotlight, if you know what I mean. Because what is that song called? You couldn't play me, baby, I'm a rock star. It's not called Rockstar, is it? It's called something else.
Oh, I don't know. He's got loads of songs out that have been out for ages, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the AJ Tracy's killing it. H is killing it lately. I'm really proud of like the UK scene at the minute. Just in terms of how much talent we've got in the pool, and the fact that the US audience and US artists are taking note of it. Like as you said, you had Dababy come up for Don't Rush. You had Tay Keith make that beat for Rain with AJT and H on it. Just it's really nice to see. You had Metro Boomin, one of the biggest DJs in the world, last year come out and say he thinks the next big artist to come out and absolutely kill the game would be from the UK. He said, I think he said Stormzy, but I don't agree with that. I mean, don't get me wrong, Stormzy is on like an international level now. I mean, you saw that when he headlined Glastonbury last year. But for me, it would either be a Dave or an AJT that would come out and smash the US market. Mainly just because they can use like the English slang, like like the grime sort of style, but at the same time, you know, guys from the US don't really understand that slang, do they? And I think they can rap and produce songs without using like that much slang. So, and that sort of communicates a little bit better with that sort of market, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, on TikTok, like a lot of songs are becoming popular, and that this guy that's on it, that's quite a famous TikToker. He did a grime song from like an artist in London, right? And I was absolutely crying at the comments he got on it. It was just all British people absolutely ripping into him. So like it's not anyone that I know, like AJ Tracy or anyone like that. But the first like the first few lines are a bit like they're just saying words, and then it goes into like proper grime. And like, so this guy's filming this TikTok, and he's just stood there looking at the camera saying the words. And then when it gets to like the proper grime bit, he goes off camera and puts a beanie on and comes back. Do you know, to make him look like a roadman?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Creasing. Oh, and all on the comments, and all the people are like, I'd love to see you come to London, mate. You'd get shanked in about 3 seconds. I was absolutely dying.
Jesus.
They were like, I'd love, like, come to the UK and we'll show you how it's done.
Oh, for God's sake. Them people who are like pretending to be hard in the comment section, like not realising that they're commenting on a fucking TikTok video.
I know, but it was absolutely making me crease, because he thought he was being mint with this like UK grime artist, just absolutely like it's a sick tune, and just absolutely going in, and he puts a beanie hat on to look roadman. I was crying.
That's actually pretty funny, that.
I know, everyone was just like, oh, can't deal. But so that's like an artist that no one's ever heard of, and the Americans are already using it as a TikTok sound. And they used Rain a lot, and all the big TikTokers did a dance to Rain, and everyone from Britain was like commenting on it, ripping into him, going, please don't ruin this song. Or like, you've ruined it for me now because you've made a TikTok dance to it.
Oh, for God's sake. I tell you what, it hasn't ruined it for fucking AJT and H, mate. They're seeing the money come in because of that.
Oh yeah, probably, but like, can you imagine like H and AJ Tracy just sat there on the phone, like, get a call from someone, mate, your song's blowing up in America, and they're like, oh, how? On TikTok? What the hell is TikTok? And then they look at all these weird dances they're doing to Rain, and they're like, stop. I feel like they wouldn't even care about the money. They'd just be like, don't do that.
Do you know what though? I suppose like it would make more sense to them guys, because they're around like our age, and they're sort of in the generation where I suppose they're more like accepting of like, you know, like that kind of social media attention.
But it's so cringe. I've
oh
seen
yeah,
a few of them dances
100%
to that
cringe.
song. It's so cringe.
What-
Don't get me wrong, I love a bit of
100%.
TikTok, but that dancing to Rain has ruined Rain for me. When I hear it, that's all I can see in my head is like people dancing to it with a weird TikTok dance, and I'm like, no.
With that being said, I don't think I ever want to see the video of the dance because, yeah, like you say, I feel like I'd just be watching every time that song comes on. I'd just be watching some skinny ass yank like do a stupid ass dance to to
That is
the main
exactly
chorus.
it. But don't worry, I'm gonna find it for you and I'm gonna send it you later.
Oh wow, thanks. I'll be sure to block you immediately.
If I have to suffer, you can suffer with me.
You can keep that suffering to yourself. Thanks very much.
No
Jesus
thanks.
Christ. You already sent me enough like music stuff to watch. I mean, speaking of, this is a great transition. I'm so professional. Speaking of music, you sent me to watch. You told me to listen to the Haley Kiyoko. Is that how I say it?
Yes.
Oh God, what a great pronunciation! That album. You told me to listen to it. Expectations. It's called, isn't it?
Did you listen to it in order?
I did. Yeah.
Because like the way she's done it is that at the end of each song is about 10 seconds and then it transitions into the next song and you don't even realise. When I first listened to it, I was listening to it for about 15 minutes and I was like, this song is going on for absolutely ages. We've had a few like music changes, but my God. And then I looked at it, I'm halfway through the album and I was like, oh, I didn't see that.
I was literally about to like bring that point up to you. I was like, that one of the main things I really like about the album is, you see a lot of artists doing it, but you don't really see a lot of people doing it as well as she did. Where like you had the transitions at the start and at the end, but like in some songs, I was looking at it just to see how far I was into the song, and there was like sort of like transitional like sort of music in the middle.
Yeah.
So there'd be a song going on, she'd be singing, and then like let's say like 2 minutes 50 into it, there'd be like I don't know, like a weird transitional like rain sort of sound in it, and she'd stop singing and then just carry on, and then there'd be the next song.
Yeah. And like the background info for Haley about Haley Kiyoko, because I doubt anyone who listens to the channel knows it, because it's Pride Month and she is one of the most outspoken singers about like gay rights and stuff, and she is gay herself. But that Expectations album, would you believe me if I told you she did that all on her own without a record label?
So that's amazing. Just because
Kalani.
I know, like, well, yeah, there's that as well. That she's got a Kalani feature on there. Who, I mean, 2018 at the time, she still is. In 2018, she was massive as well.
Yeah.
Kalani, like she was killing it back then, and she's still killing it now. And also just because of the quality of like, as you say, like you got the transitions and you got the beats and everything. Like the whole production value of that album is really good. And like for her to do it herself, it's even more impressive because she hasn't got that big team behind her that like a lot of other artists do.
Yeah. Well, Haley Kiyoko first started on Disney. So she was one of the developers in one of the Scooby-Doo movies. And she was in Lemonade Mouth. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's like my generation, so people born in like the 2000s. There was Disney released this film, and it's about how these 5 strangers all get put into detention together in an American high school, and they form this band called Lemonade Mouth, and they have to perform at this gig, and they end up beating this like really well popular band and well known band in the town. It's very good. There's pops on there. I still listen to it, and I watched it recently the other day. But she's from a background of like Disney are known for their you're not allowed to come out as gay or anything whilst you've got contracts with us. And
that's insane.
Haley, I know, but to be honest, from like my point of view, it's terrible for them to say that. Like we're in 2020 now. Like everyone's trying to boycott the police, and Disney are still saying that you can't come out as gay whilst you work for us. But on the new Star Wars, there's a scene at the end that on the new Star Wars film where two girls kiss, two girls pilots kiss, and it's not even the main thing. It's just in the background of one of the main actors' shot at the end of the film, and that only was allowed to get played in like a handful of countries, like all the countries in the Middle East, and China. That film was not allowed to get played with that in it. They had to like redo the scene where they just hugged.
That's insane that when you think about it though, just because like, as you say, like what year are we in now? And that's a massive deal that countries like no. I mean, like I get why, because obviously, you know, there's different rules and like, you know, certain countries, like you say in the Middle East have like different like, you know, religions and, you know, blah blah blah. But I mean, come on, like I mean, I don't know what to say about that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but like, so she's come from Disney, where she wasn't allowed to come out as gay or anything. And then, to be honest, I didn't even realise that it was her when I first heard one of the songs. So one of the songs that went like properly viral was back in 2015, and it's called "Girls Like Girls," and like the chorus to it is like girls like boys do, nothing new. And before that, she'd already had an EP out, and it didn't get her anywhere. Like, she was quite low level. Everyone was saying, you're not going to play it because you're gay, you can't play here, and you're just going to sing about girls and stuff like that. That's why she never had a record deal as well, because she didn't want them to stop that, like, touching from into last week's podcast. Was it last week?
I mean, I think it was. It was last week or the week before. Yeah.
Yeah, like about the contract. Like, a lot of record labels have contracts where it's like you're not allowed to come out as gay. So that's why she never signed to a record label. And then she did the film. Then she did the song "Girls Like Girls." She did the song herself and directed the music video herself. And one of the girls in it is actually in Insidious. She's like the main character in Insidious 3, I want to say. So she got like some quite like famous people to be in the music video as well. But she like blew up in 2015 with that. And then people heard it, and 2015 was still a time where it's like a lot of laws hadn't changed about it and stuff like that. So she, as soon as that song blew up, she got a load of criticism for it, and then she like didn't write anything for a while, and then she brought out another EP, and that did okay. It did better than the last one, but still she was quite like a low level artist. She wasn't really playing much anywhere and stuff like that. And then I think the album I told you to listen to, her actual album Expectations, I think that's the only time she properly like blew up. Like, I think her Spotify says she gets like 3 million monthly listeners, which when you think of it, it's absolutely nothing.
But when in independent wise though, that is pretty impressive. I mean, there's only a few people that have been that really successful under an independent sort of like, I'd say independent label. Like, is she still under her own sort of power? Does she still do her own like videos and everything?
Yeah, I don't think she's signed. She might, in fact, she's signed to Atlantic Records recently because she brought out an EP, and it says on it Atlantic Records, you know, on like the EP covering.
Yeah. If someone like Curry's going to sign to a contract, though, you would have thought that she would have had a lot of weight with that contract in terms of how it was negotiated. Yeah.
Well, she's still like, so for Expectations, which is the album that I told you to listen to, she's got about 4, 5 or 6 music videos on that album that she directed herself.
Yeah.
And they're all really, really good.
I was really digging is it called Curious?
Oh yeah.
That song.
That is, yeah. You know the really fast bit in it?
Yeah.
You have to learn to do that. That's your task. I'm setting you a job.
Oh wow, great. As if I ain't got enough jobs. I've got merch shopping, I've got podcasts, I've got logos to design. Now you're making me like learn lyrics. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'll do that. Yeah.
I can do it.
Oh, can you?
Yeah, I can.
Well,
but that was like that video got a lot of hype because everyone was like, can anyone sing this really fast? And like nobody could do it at first, and then I think people just obviously like learned to do it. But she did a music video for that she directed herself and everything. But on a lot of her songs that she's done music videos to, she directs them, she's in them, and she also does a behind the scenes video to show how she directs them. And you see how much work she's putting in. So like Sleepover, I don't know if that's on Expectations, it might be. I think
it might be.
actually.
I think I might have seen it.
Yeah, so she did a music video for that. She's in the music video, she directs it, and then she does a behind the scenes video to see how she directs it and is also in it. It's mental when you watch it, like how much work she puts into it. And like she funds it all herself and everything.
Yeah. I was saying, like, there's not a lot of people who would be willing to put that amount of effort into, like, even if it's like the sort of, the dream job. Like, there's not a lot of people that would be willing to put that much effort into the, the work that they do. I just think it's like dead impressive that she's able to do that and have the success that she has as an a former independent artist. I mean, she picked herself up off her own back and made a success of herself without any, like, as I say, team backing up her or anything. I mean, there's only been like very few people that have been successful in like independent contracts or, on like an indie label. Like one that comes to mind is Migos. I think Migos got like a #1 while they were independent before they signed. But apart from that, I can't think of anybody else really that have been that successful.
Yeah, well, she, like I said, she got Kehlani on a track, and Kehlani's always been really outspoken. I think she said I want to say pansexual.
Okay.
I think, which is like, she just loves anyone, so they could be like transgender or anything. She just loves people.
I was gonna say, you gotta remind me what pansexual means. I get lost these days.
Like bisexual is just you like boys and girls, and pansexual is like you like everyone. You just love people. So she originally came out as bisexual, and then she recently came out as pansexual.
Okay.
I can't believe Hailey got her on a track. Like nobody was expecting it, and she obviously released that as a single. She did a really good music video to it as well, and she also directed that one and was in it, and Kehlani was in it. Like Kehlani had a broken foot and ran in the music video.
Damn, that's commitment.
That's how much dedication they put into it. But everyone was just so shocked because obviously, like, she's known, but she's not like well known. Like she don't get any radio play because the song's about how she's a girl and she likes girls. Yeah. So the radios don't play her because that's not like family friendly or something like that. So she don't get any radio play. But she's still doing like really well considering. She just was recently on RuPaul's Celebrity Drag Race with Madison Beer and Tiffany Haddish, and she won that actually. But she was saying on there like she's got a lot of insecurities because she dresses quite like masculine, and she like people always judge her for it, and she's had it really hard all her life because with her music not everyone's been supportive and stuff like that, and it's quite sad to hear how like broken she is about it. But she's doing so well now. But I guess that for them, like for quite a few years, she was really struggling with it.
I bet she's loving that the success that she's having now as well. I mean, like she's finally seeing her work, like
paying off. Yeah, like, all that commitment in the beginning is really paying off now, and like with the record contract that you say that she's just signed. It's a testament to how far she's come. I mean, I don't really know anything about her, but you've told me a lot about her. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I listened to the music that you told me to listen to. I quite enjoyed it. It was nice. I really liked as you say, how the album sounded like one big song. I think that's always good when an album can make you feel like that, just because you're not waiting on the next song to start or finish.
Yeah.
It's more just like a constant flow of I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah, it's a really good album. It's really creative how she's done it. But I went to see her in Manchester as well. I think she played in, I want to say like Manchester Academy 2. So she wasn't even in the big like academy. So I went to see her, and a lot of celebrities, like, you hear them on tracks and then they sound nothing like it in person, and you're like, you are so tuned to the max. But when I went to see her, she was like, sounds exactly like the album. It was amazing. And then she met quite a lot of her fans afterwards. And she got like a photo with us all and stuff, and was like talking to us. So she's a nice person as well, but it's just amazing like how well she's doing now, and like I'm just so glad to see it.
Well, yeah, you guys have been like with it from the beginning, so it must be good to, as I say, if I finally like see, the girl done made it.
I know, it's like, and it's quite like a big break for like Queen with Freddie. He was gay, but everyone loved them because their songs weren't about like being gay or anything. And that's like, none of the Queen songs are like that. So I feel like that's why everyone loved him, and they loved him for like the extraness and like extravagance that he brought to the stage and stuff when he come out in all funky outfits. And it's the same with Elton John, but this, because she's a girl that's singing about liking girls, then people are like, oh, not sure on that one. And also it seems like more like gay guys get a lot more recognition.
Well, that's a really good like transition that I wanted to actually talk about anyway with you, right? So I always find it strange, and I always find it like really perplexing how you look back on these artists. I mean, not even that long ago. I mean, you talk about your George Michaels from Wham, you talk about your Elton Johns, who's still going now and, made a career out of like, looking really flamboyant. You talk about your boy George's, who, you know what I mean? I can't remember if he's gay or not, who came out dressing as a woman. You talk about your Freddie Mercury's. The list goes on and on. David Bowie, like how he used to come out dressed, and, things like that. Do you think it's as strange as I think that we as a society idolize these people for how flamboyant they looked and how we accept they are who they are, knowing who they are? I mean, everyone knows that Freddie Mercury's gay. I mean, and for some reason we still have this sort of like stigma in society where, as you say, record contracts like make you sign something like you're not allowed to come out and be gay, even though some of these record labels made their millions off the back of people who were openly flamboyant, gay, bisexual, etc. Do you think it's a weird how that's like a thing in our society?
Well, the way I look at it is like everyone loved Freddie Mercury for his outfits. I know the most about Freddie Mercury because my family love Queen, and like we've seen the film many a times. And like there was a member of our family that absolutely adored Queen, so Queen's always with us. He wore really flamboyant outfits. He was like, you could definitely tell like you could definitely tell he was gay with like his expressions. Like he'd come out wearing like low cut suits, that like full length suits that were like super tight and stuff like that. And
also, I mean, the goddamn band was called Queen.
Exactly. And you could just tell with him, but everyone loved him for that. But he still sang about, like, he didn't sing about it. He just suffered in silence, if that makes sense.
Yeah. There was a lot of that in the 80s as well. There was a lot of, I don't know if you go back and notice now, I mean, sometimes they did mention it, but gay artists back in like the 80s and 90s never really mentioned a specific gender, when they were singing about love songs. Yeah. Like they never really said girl
or like Baby, like, you know what I mean? They sort of, you knew they were singing about like it was like a love song or like, you know, like a sexy song, but they never really specified what gender they were talking about.
Yeah, well, like the way I see it is, we love, like, this is what I think people are like, we love to see like gay people and how flamboyant they are, and this is why a lot of people watch RuPaul's Drag Race, and then they're like, when, for example, when Hayley Kiyoko's like girls like boys do, it's nothing new. They're like, yeah, but we don't want your opinions because like, we don't like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
can
like Dance
okay,
Monkey Dance, like we don't hear your opinion, just like, you know.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're just like a puppet.
Yeah.
No, don't speak, just like entertain us. And then when they've got an opinion about it, everyone's like, oh no. Like,
Too
it's just
far.
really
Yeah.
weird.
Well,
And there's a lot, like, my have you seen the Pride film?
is that what
You
it's
might
called?
No, there's a film, I can't remember, I think it is called Pride or something. But it's about my dad's cousin.
Oh, okay.
I think it is called Pride, but it's quite a comedy. Yeah,
I've
it's
not seen it.
called Pride. I went to see it with all my dad's family in the cinema, and a lot of us got invited to the premiere, but I had an English exam that day. I was fuming. But that film's about how like the LGBT community saved the miners when all the mines got shut and stuff like that, and they protested a lot. And the whole film's like about my cousin, Mark Ashton, and
Okay.
it just shows like what they had to go through, and then they were willing to help out like other people. But nobody talks about it. This, like, everyone's like, oh, it's the LGBT community, they're just in it for themselves, all this charity works for them. But it's actually like it goes to other things, or like they help others. So I think the actual charity group was called Lesbians and Gays Save the Miners, and they all went to this like little town in Wales and like fundraised for all these mine workers that had no money because the job had been cut and they couldn't do anything else, and there was no jobs going. And nobody like talks about that in this society, and you see all the hate they get in the film. Like, they have their meetings in this book club, the LGBT community, and there's like people throwing bricks through the window, battering them, calling them names, and people are like, oh, it's 2020, it's not like that anymore. But it is like that. Like, especially from what I've seen when I've been like to Canal Street and stuff, it still very much is quite bad like that. It's not as bad, but it's definitely not. People think it's all right now and nothing's going on, but there is. And it's like that in the music industry. It's like, yeah, you can act it, but just don't speak it. It's really weird.
You can walk all the way to the line, but don't cross it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what it's like in 2020, like, people who sing about this are like getting shot down for it. They're like, oh, we don't want to listen to them anymore. We're happy watching them and listening to the music before, but as soon as they mention liking the same gender, it's a no.
Yeah, but we don't like, we don't mind you tiptoeing around the point, but once you go to that point, once you actually come out and say, like, you know, you've got, then people have a problem with it. And this is like what we're saying as well. Like, do you think it's strange how, as a society now, we look back on the work that Elton John did, that Freddie Mercury did, etc., etc.? I'm not going to say every name. Do you think it's weird as a society that we look back on the work that they did, and we knew, you know, we know that they're gay, and we accept it now as a society,
but for some reason in 2020 people can't come out and be who they are, even though some of our biggest idols are who they are.
It's
That
like,
makes sense.
yeah, it's daft because like, look at what we got. Was it last year we got a Queen movie about Freddie Mercury?
And everyone loved it, and it was critically acclaimed, and it's probably, I mean, I still get hundreds of people I see online still talk about it.
Yeah. And like the same with the Elton John movie. And now Elton John's married and they've adopted 2 children that are now their children. And everyone's like, oh, look at them, they're so cute. But like, if they were to say their opinion on it, they're like, why are you saying that? Like, do you know what I mean? It's just, it's really weird.
Yeah, like you can't have your cake and eat it.
Yeah. And do you know who I think's really, really brave? Little Nas X. Like, he came out as bisexual. And have you ever seen a rapper come out as gay or anything?
Not for a while. I mean, I can't think of anyone off the top of my head who's done that. No. I do remember how he came out though. Like, he just posted a picture of his album, won it on his Twitter, and he was like, "I thought I made it obvious."
Yeah.
And it was like a rainbow on the front of his album or something, wasn't there?
Yeah. So his album covers him riding a horse into like a town with these high-rise buildings, and in the high-rise buildings is like one of them's like the pride flag.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. That's what it was. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody noticed it. They just thought it was futuristic, and they're like, "Oh my god, so excited for this album!" And he was like, "Do you not get it?"
No, yeah, I remember that.
I have not seen a rapper come out as gay or bisexual or anything that falls under the LGBT plus community, and he was just like, "Here you go, my first album," and I was like, "That is amazing." And then he posts on Instagram, he's like wearing like a pink crop top, and I'm like, "This is what we need," and he really doesn't care, but for him, it's a lot different. If he still hasn't like properly sung about liking guys, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
he got his big following, then he teased an album, then he brought out his album, and then people like started looking into the album cover, and then he was like, "I thought I made it obvious." So he already brought it all out, and he already had all of his following before he was like, "Yeah, I'm bi."
So he sort of threw it out there before people was able to throw it back in his face, really.
Yeah, and like, Hailey's always been from like the very start, I'm a lesbian, and then she's asked to build a following off that, whereas he already had a following with like Old Town Road, and he was already quite big, and then he was just like, by the way. So he already had a following. He didn't have to work for a following, if that makes sense.
I mean, to be fair, I quite like his album. I mean, before that though, he was going to be seen as like a one-hit wonder. I mean, don't get me wrong, like a massive one-hit wonder, because that song actually broke. I mean, because of all the remixes that he brought out, but regardless, that actually broke a record, like a Billboard record for like the most weeks at number 1. I think it was like 37 weeks on Billboard Hot 100.
I know. He's honestly, like, I'm not dissing him by saying, oh, he built his following first and then was like, have this. I think that's a clever way to do it, or it's probably the best way to do it, but like, a lot of artists have had to struggle because they've always said it. Like, if you've ever seen RuPaul's Drag Race, then RuPaul himself always talks about his struggles he's had with it and being in drag. Like, that's a whole different thing. And you see how much like abuse they get, and it's terrible.
He's done a good job of like sort of turning it into his sort of character though, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's done it really well.
So like, embraced it.
Yeah, and like when I watched the Celebrity Drag Race with Tiffany Madison and Hailey, they have to get into drag, and they were like, "Oh, it's like who you are on the inside, but finally like on your face, like, if that makes sense." And also, he does on these celebrity ones, he does charity giveaways. So whoever wins $10,000 for a charity of their choice. So Hayley's charity was parenthood, Planned Parenthood. So it's not as if they go in as well to just LGBT plus charities. They go into like different charities. Like Madison's was going to the Trevor Project, which is a suicide hotline. It's the Trevor Project though is like, it is mostly for the LGBT plus community, but it's also for anyone who needs it. But it was set up because of all the hate that the LGBT plus community gets. But that's like, off the back of these, other charities are getting like massive like donations and stuff, and people are becoming more aware of other things based off these LGBT shows.
I really am like looking forward to seeing the way like the music industry sort of goes like in the next couple of years, because I feel like we're getting there as a whole. Like we touched on it a couple of weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago, weren't we? Like it's sort of like the stigma's still there. That's the second time I've said stigma in a podcast today, so you know I think they can say that more than once. We see that it's still there, but like it's getting a little bit more better and accepted. Would you say so? In a way, like because you said like, what I mean by that is like you a couple of years ago you had these contracts where people couldn't come out as bisexual, etc. And I think it's helped it along the way, just because like some of these and quite a few of these artists have come out and spoke against it, like Camilla's, your Lawrence, your Madison Beers, your Hayley Kyokos. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, like totally gonna go on to a controversial topic, but you already know what I'm going to talk about. Like Camila and Shawn Mendes, everyone thought Shawn Mendes was gay.
Yeah.
Absolutely, everyone thought it. I mean, I didn't. I was like, he possibly could be, but I also have a big crush on him, so I was like, I hope not. Everyone that listened to his music was like, oh, he must be gay. And he said in an interview before he got with Camila and did Senorita, he said, I feel like I just need to be seen with a girl in public, so everyone stops thinking I'm gay, or I need to be in a relationship with a girl.
And then lo and behold,
Senorita comes about, and then 2 weeks later, they're a couple, and I'm like, And there's always been in the Fifth Harmony fandom people that think Camila is also either like gay or bisexual, but so it was like really convenient.
She's never really confirmed it, has she? I mean, she's always been an advocate for equality, but she's never really like come out and said it herself, has she?
No, but let's put it this way: when I went to her concert in Birmingham, it was just full of lesbians, literally, just absolutely full of them. And I was like, am I missing something here? Like, because I didn't think, because like at the Hayley Kyoko's concert, obviously that was going to be lots of people from the LGBT community, but I didn't expect it like Camila Cabello's concert, her first solo concert, and I was so confused. And then I had to look into it after the concert, and I was like, what is going on? And then
really fuels the conspiracy, doesn't it? That
yeah. And like during the concert, every concert she had, someone would throw the pride flag at her, and she'd wear it like during one of the songs and stuff, and everyone was like, And like in her first album, she never refers to he or she. So everyone was like, and then all of a sudden she's in a relationship with Shawn Mendes, who actually said in an interview, I need to get with a girl so people stop thinking I'm gay. And then lo and behold, both problems are fixed.
Exactly, like the both problems disappear. I agree with that. I do want to go on record and say, and I still think I think Shawn Mendes is gay. I mean, I thought he was. I mean, by the way, there's nothing fucking wrong with that. Like, but
No, there isn't.
I was shocked about when he got in a relationship with CC. I was like, what? Just because I was so sure, like, and not even because of his music. I mean, don't get me wrong, his music is aimed at a specific. I mean, that's like saying Justin Bieber's gay just because he made songs for for teenagers when he was in his early career. I mean, that it wasn't because of his music. I just the way he acted. Whenever I saw him in interviews, the way he dressed, I always thought he was gay. And then when he got in a relationship with as I say, CC, I was like, all right, okay, maybe he's not then. But like when we started talking about this conspiracy, which can. I mean, that could be a whole episode by itself, like how long we talked about it for. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I started to question it again. I was like, very, very strange.
Yeah, honestly, it was. But that's why I feel like the music industry won't change in like the years to come, like the next few years, because like going back to our other episode, and we were on about contracts. What if these two, because they both like Camila obviously signed through American X Factor, Shawn Mendes got signed when he was young. He was just making covers on YouTube and someone signed him, and he got signed really young. What if they're stuck in a contract and this is just a solely PR relationship, just 100%. So both not found out or he's not found out? And because they're friends, it makes it easier to do, because obviously they want to help each other out. And this is them stuck in a contract. Like how many, like what, I'd love to see an actual music contract that is fair.
No, that's a really good point. Yeah, 100%.
Like, I feel like the music industry is with like a lot of artists saying like Lil Nas and Hayley, Madison is bisexual as well. She's said it numerous times. She says she doesn't like putting a label on it. Why do you have to put a label on it? You're a person who loves someone else. That's it.
I've always found it very strange as well. Sorry to interrupt. Like, just but you bringing up a perfect topic which I wanted to say, and I totally forgot about before. I've always found it really strange how it's massive news when someone comes out as gay as well.
I know, because why do you have to? Like, hopefully in the future you don't need to.
Yeah, like, what do you know what I mean? when, like, for example, and I don't know why this is the first thing on top of me. I mean, I know he was married and he had kids and all that sort of stuff. Actually, that's a really bad example. I was going to talk about Philip Schofield. That was a really bad example. Let's say when Madison Beer came out as bisexual, and I suppose that like caused a big uproar. Like when people found out, it was like, whoa, what? And then you talk about this whole conspiracy theory with Shawn Mendes, like he shouldn't have to hide it. But like if he came out as gay, it would be massive in the news and all that sort of stuff. But someone doesn't have to come out and say, oh, I'm straight. People be like, yeah, and
I know, it is really stupid, but that stigma's not going to go away for a while. I don't think. Again. Like the what?
Stigma again.
Yeah.
Word of the day, that.
I know. Keyword.
Stigma Sunday.
But like Madison did a live, I think it was about 4 years ago, and she was like, I'm bisexual, but why should I have to say that? Like, why should I have to label myself?
No, yeah, you shouldn't. Exactly. I mean,
and I totally agree with that. Like, it's stupid. Like, you don't see people going home and going, Mom, Dad, I've got something to tell you. I'm straight. Like, well done, son. Well done. Proud for you.
Yeah.
Like, no, or like if you come out as gay, like your parents are like, oh, like if you've got parents that are really kind, they'll be like, oh, we're here for you. Like, that's not an issue to us. We just want you to be happy. But then if you've got parents that don't accept it, then they're like, get out of my house and stuff like that. So it's still quite bad.
Well, there's always an extra step on it as well, isn't there? It's like, when you say, well, for as I say off the top of my head, like when Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie started going out, they'd be like, oh, they're dating each other. they're gonna get married and stuff. But let's say if you see Madison Beer walking down the street with a girlfriend, it wouldn't be breaking news: Madison Beer is dating this person. Like the headline would be breaking news: Madison Beer is dating this person, and she's bisexual? Question mark. It's like, yeah, you'd have to point it out. Like, no shit.
Well, I think she did have like a girlfriend at one point, and TMZ, our fave people, followed her to a milkshake shop, and like she was cuddling this girl, and they did look close. It was definitely more than friends, but like they were like, oh my god, can you believe it, and stuff like that. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
That makes no sense. But I think there's still quite a lot of change to undergo, and who knows, like the whole Shawn Mendes thing, who knows how long he's in a contract for. We might be,
I'd love to see how long he's in there for.
Yeah, we might be 40 or 50, and then one day we hear on the radio, or like our kids come in and go, oh, Shawn Mendes has come out as gay, and then we'll be like, well, yeah, we already knew. Why he don't have to come out, like he don't have to announce it to the world and stuff like that, like. But that it could be in a contract for years to come. And honestly, I just think they're a weird couple. I used to love Shawn Mendes. I mean, I love his music, but I can't stand him anymore.
Do you know what? Like before we get into like, I memean, I feel like that needs to be like an episode in itself sometime in the future. So I don't want to get too into that.
Yeah.
So because I feel like that's like a really interesting and the conversation that we had, like a private conversation about it. Not on the podcast or anything. It's a really interesting conversation, and I think it needs to be put into a video. And why not put it on here? That'd be good.
Yeah.
But you've done loads of research on that, haven't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm gonna stop you there, just so like, because I guarantee you, right? I mean, we've been going for a while now. If we go into that, we'll be going for like another hour and a half. So.
I know. Then everyone's like, oh my god, why is it 4 hours long?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think we've gone over an hour again, so I'm gonna try and wrap it up. But
put a nice little bow on it. Wrap it up.
I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna get someone else to wrap it for me because I'm not good at rapping. So I'll pay you to wrap the video up for me, and then I'm just gonna go on a tangent and start speaking about nothing like I usually do right now. But. But so that I wrap it up, it's been good. It's been a good talk again. Just to randomly out of the blue, just to put it into perspective as well. I literally asked Liz last night, "Do you want to come back on and talk?" Because I had no news or anything. And I was like, we had a good conversation last time, so I thought,
Technically, it wasn't last night. Technically, it was 1:30 in the morning. Because it's like 12:39 or something.
I mean, if we want to get into specifics, yeah.
I got asked today.
You got asked about 12 hours ago today. Fuck's sake. But before we go, I know you did it last time, but would you like to plug anything again?
Yeah, well, let's plug Charts Off a Radio.
Of course. I mean, hopefully you know what that is, seeing as you found the video.
All LittleWrighty Customs.
Hell yeah. Manisha's got some trainers from there. I'm currently working on getting some of my own.
I know. Oh, I actually got a text about your shoes. They're being shipped. Well, not shipped, posted.
Oh, shit. They look live updates on the podcast. Good that.
Check that. Good, great customer service.
Go follow her on Instagram, LittleWrighty Customs. You can follow your personal page as well if you want, LittleWrighty. Go follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you want. Subscribe to the channel. Give it a like. I will throw myself back to myself on the podcast in a second after I stop recording. But for now, thank you for talking to me, Elizabeth.
Thanks for having me. It's been fun.
I know, it really has. Peace out, guys. Woo! Jeez. Yeah, another long episode, as I said. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. As I say, I'm going to keep the outro just as short as I kept the intro.
But I hope you enjoyed episode 14 of the CTR podcast. Once again, if you liked it, subscribe, share, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that jazzy shit that I talked about in the interview. Once again, check out LittleWrighty Customs. Definitely recommended. I'm currently getting shoes done myself. My niece just got a pair. So, yeah, what else can I say? Amazing. If I'm using it, then it must be good, you know what I mean? But anyway, guys, I will chat to you. I might be chatting to you sooner than you think. I've got a little thing cooked up and prepared, maybe tonight and maybe tomorrow. It depends what's going on. But for now, guys, I will catch you in a bit. Peace out.
The CTR Podcast.